but at least it was somewhat organized and like put together. Target just like looked like a bomb went off, and there was a couple games landed in there. They're like, oh, I
Ugh.
guess we sell these. I have no idea. Apparently, we do. It just looked like trash everywhere. Sorry if you guys like Target. It was a shit show. Welcome to the Nerd Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing the state of video games. That's right. We're going to talk about some current things going on with PC, I guess, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. We're going to wrap things up at the end with retro, of course, because that is the soul of our show.
That's what we do.
So we're going to look across all different things. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff today. It's probably going to be a longer show than usual, but who knows? I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. Please consider supporting us over on Patreon if you like what you hear today. Patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You guys can get ad-free access to a variety of our shows, including this one. So please check that out over there if you like what you hear today. If you don't want to support us financially, that's fine too. Help us out over on Free Feeds. You guys can give us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That also helps us out quite a bit. So please consider doing that if you like the show. With me, as always, my good friend Wes. Wes, how you doing, man?
What's up? What's up? What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Not much, man. I'm doing well. Doing well. Happy to be here talking about games once again.
Always happy to be here talking about games.
All right, guys. So without further ado, let's jump into it. This section in the beginning is kind of like an overview. We are going to talk about PC at the end, but we're going to talk about... I did a video recently, if you guys have saw it, about basically the death of physical Xbox games. GameStop is also reducing physical games, and they were talking about going digital. I'm going to let Wes talk a little bit more about that in just a second. We'll talk about some live service games, and then we'll talk about the rise of mobile gaming as well. So kind of some negative stuff to start us out, which isn't what we normally do, but at least negative for Wes and I. Wes, let's talk about the first thing though. GameStop, you dropped this news to me. Someone that you know that still works there. They're reducing their physical games, and they're going to be selling digital games now. Tell me what's going on with this.
Yo, it's crazy. You know what? It's more crazy because that used to be us. We used to be part of the EB GameStop world. So to hear this news kind of like brought a tear to my eye. But yes, seems as though GameStop is going to change their store format, from what I'm told, and they are pretty much going to be gearing towards a digital environment. They'll still sell accessories, they'll still sell game cards, they'll still sell collectibles and toys and all that other stuff, but the physical presence is pretty much going to be non-existent very, very soon.
Interesting. Do you know how soon that's going to take place, or are you not sure?
I'm not sure. Not sure. But yeah, it's kind of scary because when you walk into a GameStop, where's the games?
I mean, it's not as big as it used to. I mean, they definitely still have games. Like the video I recently did, I went to a Best Buy. This was all local to me, so it could be different where you live. I went to a Best Buy, a Target, and a GameStop. I didn't go to Walmart. I'm not going to Walmart. You guys can't pay me to go to Walmart. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I hate Walmart. Target was the worst. Target was by far an atrocity to any kind of games. Like, I think there was like a total of like 4 or 5 Xbox games in the Xbox section. Mm-hmm. Granted, PlayStation was slightly better, and Nintendo was, slightly better than PlayStation. But just overall, horrid. Like, why even have a section at all? Is my feelings about Target. Best Buy was a step up from them. At least Best Buy definitely reduced their physical presence, and this has kind of been all over like Twitter and the internet. Like recently, you can see how much they've really reduced physical media as a whole, not just video games. Their Blu-ray section has been basically abandoned, more or less. Their video game section has shrunk dramatically and probably is going to continue to shrink. But at least it was somewhat organized and like put together. Target just like looked like a bomb went off, and there was a couple games landed in there. They're like, oh, I guess we sell these. I have no idea. Apparently, we do. It just looked like trash everywhere. Sorry if you guys like Target. It was a show over there. It was horrible. Uh, their online presence is probably fine. You can probably buy games online there, but their store is an atrocity, video game wise. Finally, I went to GameStop last, or somewhere in there. I don't know. The last one I'm going to talk about is GameStop. They had the most games by far, like not even
True.
close to the condition of Best Buy and especially Target. But those sections are dramatically reduced to what they used to be. Like,
Without a doubt, especially when we were there, it was all about games. We didn't have all that other stuff taking up real estate, like toys and T-shirts and Blu-rays, and it was only about games. Now it's the game section is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And let's not talk about the amount of new releases that are displayed on the wall. It's almost non-existent. It's all used.
yeah, I mean the 3 foot section. I mean, it's not even that much used, Wes. There's like nothing. Like the 3 foot. There's a 3 foot new section in um, Xbox. If you guys don't know what 3 foot, 3 foot is like 3 linear feet. So it's like 3 foot, and then it goes from like the floor to the ceiling,
Mhm.
essentially, almost to the ceiling. There was a 3 foot section of new for Xbox. That was it,
That
and
was
that,
it.
that, that includes games that are still Xbox One. I'm not even talking about just the Series X games. These are all mixed in. There's Xbox One. There's Xbox Series X games. That's all they had for new, and they were barely able to fill that 3 foot section. Then there was probably a 6 foot section, I would say, of used,
Mhm.
and almost all of that was front facing. It did have some like that were like bookshelved on the side, um, but back in the day that wouldn't be the case. You'd have like 4 rows of bookshelf games, and then like a few rows of like games that
Yeah,
faced you because you felt like you had no space in your store at all, and you had so many games, and that was the case back then. But the thing that has changed the most, is digital. Obviously, changed everything, right? People stop buying new games as much. The last statistic I've heard, it's about 2 out of 3 games purchased now are digital. So like a third of them are being purchased physically. It's a little bit better in the Switch ecosystem. It's probably about half in the Switch ecosystem, but it's still like that. That's what's the biggest thing is, right? They have no used games because people aren't buying new games to then trade them in, and the people that are buying new games aren't trading them in anyway. So they're in like they're kind of pigeonholed. It's like, well, we need the used games. We need them to survive. No
yeah,
one's trading in their used games anymore. So I guess they have to make some sort of pivot, right?
yeah. You know what? I wasn't really surprised when I was hearing this information. It's where everybody's going. It's where everybody's going, and that kind of got our conversation started. It's like, what's the state of video games? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy because you said Best Buy already got rid of their physical. Walmart's pretty much getting rid of their physical. It was
Best Buy still has it, to be fair, but it's like they're shrinking rapidly.
it very rapidly. So it's only a matter of time for GameStop to follow suit and kind of cater to, I guess, the industry, which is going digital. So you still need a place to buy your controllers and your game cards. So they'll be fine because they also sell all that other stuff. But yeah, man, it looks like they sometime down the road they're going to be changing their store structure to go in line with more of the digital environment.
Well, what's interesting is they just relaunched for the third time at GameStop their effort in getting like retro games again, which is cool. But you guys keep failing at this. Like it's not, in my opinion, it's not that complicated to figure out. But you do need to train your employees. You have to train them to understand like which retro games are real or fake. Like that's the biggest thing in the beginning. And you can't be afraid to take the high end items. You just have to have faith if you trained your employees well enough that they know to spot a real or a fake for the high end stuff.
Well, I was the last time I was in a GameStop. They were taking back 360 games again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was like, oh,
Absolutely.
okay, interesting.
But being a buyer or a collector, at least where I live in Southern California. When I go to GameStop, there's like a handful of games on PS3. Maybe there's like 5 PS3 games. Maybe there's like 6 360 games. Maybe there's like 3 Wii games and like 1 Wii U game.
Hmm.
And a couple, they did have like 3DS, and I think they had some DS stuff the last time I was there. But I mean, like almost nothing, like less than 5 or around 5 for each console. So it's like you're not walking in there to shop. You're walking in there to get lucky. Like,
Yeah.
do they actually have something that's worth buying? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no, they don't.
uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We will definitely see what happens. It's going to be different. It's going to be an adjustment. I'm not feeling it, but I have no choice. But we'll see.
I want to say one last thing about the retro stuff. It doesn't matter how well they train their employees. It doesn't matter, what their plans are for this. They need to convince people to trade in their games again because nobody's doing it anymore. How are they going to do that? Right? I mean, retro stores can get games traded in, right?
Mhm.
But they're more kind of like community focused. They're on a much smaller scale.
Right.
People go in there with a purpose. Some of them are collectors and they're trading to get other things, stuff like that. But GameStop is so behind because they don't have an inventory to begin with, right? If they were smart, they would buy an inventory. They'd be buying inventory and flipping
Mhm.
it. That's what they should do. They should buy a giant. If I was in GameStop, I'd be like, we need to buy a massive amount of retro games at the cheapest prices we can, and then sell them into our store, and then try to make a community out of that. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But my point in saying all this is like this is a long shot. Like for them to have any kind of games or whatever. Like they really need to have this well thought out.
Uh,
And I feel they're just like, oh, let's just start doing it again. We'll just start taking them in with very little effort or anything else behind that.
oh, GameStop.
Anyway, let's get pissed off about something else, Wes. The next topic for our overview is just we're talking about the whole status of games in general, right? So we're gonna get out
Mhm.
all the negative stuff in here. We'll probably have some positive things to say. What I will say, I'll say one positive thing right off the bat. This is a great time for indie developers, and the fact that like it seems to be pretty accessible. You can get your game out digitally to a lot of people. It's probably a better time to be an indie developer now than it was, 15, 20 years ago, anywhere in the
Yeah,
past.
that's for sure.
So I'll say that's a positive, right? A flip side of that is we're getting trash poured onto these ecosystems every day. There was like 15,000 games on Steam last year or something like that. Like some absurd amount. I mean, that might even be low. It might be even higher than that. Who's playing these games? No one.
Somebody's got to be playing them because they keep putting them out.
They're like asset flips and just putting out all sorts of stuff. Like there needs to be a little bit of curation. And that also hurts people who are actually putting time and effort in making a good indie game, as opposed to like these studios that are just like pooping stuff out, like to get trophies or something like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's continue on with the negative.
Okay.
Live service games, online live service games, however you want to staple them. Every time I hear, like, as soon as I find out a game is live service or have live service elements, I'm like immediately turned off. Like my mind just is like, just a wall comes up, and I'm like, I don't care.
Same here. Same here. You know what? I was kind of excited about Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and I was all about it until I found out it was a live service game, online only. I mean, I was like, I'm not getting this.
Yeah, I mean, I did play. To be fair, the only one I've really gotten into was Destiny, but this is how I played it. I played it as a single player game. I played through the campaign. Destiny 1, I didn't even finish. I had problems with Destiny 1, and it's so long ago I couldn't tell you what my problem was. Destiny 2 came out, and I loved it. I beat the campaign. I never played it again. Never. Not once did I ever go back and play it. I was like, oh, that campaign was pretty good, and I moved on to the next thing, because that's what I do.
You know, I couldn't even play Destiny because the first one was I got that. You know, they had those weird animal error messages, and I never could install it, and I just gave up on it. Destiny 2 came out. I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. So I'd never done Destiny, but it's, it's popular. It's still popular. I mean, look, okay, here's the question I have to ask you. Are we just the grumpy old men? Have we become that? The grumpy old men? It's like, we just don't want to conform to the online gaming because the whole industry is going towards live service games. Rumor has it Crazy Taxi is going to be live service.
Stop. To answer your question, yes and no, and I know that's not like a non-answer, but here's the problem. I want to say initially you would just say, "Oh yeah, we're just old. Like we don't want to hear this crap about online play with other people. We just want to play single player games." Or, I used to play a lot of multiplayer stuff back in the day, but they were regular ass multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't trying to keep you there for a lifetime. They weren't trying to be Fortnite. People see dollar signs, they see Fortnite, like, oh, let's build this community and like we'll have people here for years, and like they're making like a metaverse over there. And everybody wants that. They all see the big dollar signs, right? Stop. You're wasting your time. And the good news is we're going to continue to see, I mean, it's not good news for the people who are making the games or anything, but hopefully these companies are learning as more and more of these live service games fail. Just stop. Go make a medium budget, amazing AAA single player game, but with like a medium budget.
Bro, just because you said that, I completed Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown. Fantastic. Single player game. Loved it. But getting the end, I give it a 10. It's probably going to be my game of the year. And it's already February.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro, so give me more of that. That's what I want. If it has an online feature as an option, okay, I may consider it. But I'm all about the single player experience. I want the story. I want to feel a sense of completion. I don't, the online. I'm just not there anymore.
I just don't have the time. Like when I was younger, I had the time, right? And this goes to the other side of my point. They're not making them for you and me, Wes. They're making them for the kids. They're making them for the people that are, 15 to 25. That's who they're making these games for. And it's not me anymore. I was there once. I was playing the hell out of multiplayer games at that time. My life is drastically different from when I was 25 to now.
Yeah.
So they know the audience. They know they're not getting me. They know they're not getting you, right? But they're going to get somebody, and they are going to get some older people, right? Some older people get like addicted to those things, and like they'll be playing them like every day, like Warcraft. They would love to have another Warcraft or something like that, But I'm just realistic. I know my time. I know my budget. It's not going to happen. I'm also playing Prince of Persia. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm not even close to ending it yet. But it's like they would probably call it a AAA game, but this does not have a budget of like. It's not a $300 million game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it is. And if it is, they should kill themselves. Like, there's no way this game costs $300 million to make. Like, it's not possible. But it's fantastic. It looks great. I'm not through the story yet. The story's pretty good. It's not bad. And, the gameplay is tight. That's the most important thing. The gameplay is tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could make a whole bunch of these for $300 million. Instead of making, a $500 million live service game that you're crossing your fingers turns into something gigantic.
Well, okay. On the flip side of that, there was a game that just recently came out from Ubisoft who did Prince of Persia. Was it Skull and Bones? I think it's called, and it's a live service game, and I hear it's trash.
The review I saw, I think it was on IGN, gave it like a 7 or something. But I'm just not interested. Like, to my point earlier, it's a live service game? Cool. It's the first thing I think of is like, cool. Not for me. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I hear it's live service, and I guess they're trying to compete with Sea of Thieves, which is also live service.
Good luck. Good luck. I mean, Sea of Thieves seems to, even Sea of Thieves started out rough, man. They eventually
Mhm.
turned, no pun intended. Well, I guess pun intended. They turned the ship on that one, Wes. It started out, the seas were rough.
Yeah.
They put up some new sails, went out into the sunset. And now it's going to be on Switch, so you guys can enjoy that, and we'll get into that later too, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just sick of online service games. That's
But
about
but
all I have to
it's
say about that.
but it looks like that's where the industry is heading. Hopefully they don't forget about us that just like the single player aspect of it every now and then.
I'll add one more thing. Sony is just so upsetting right now to me. Like, just unbelievably upsetting. They make some of the best story-driven AAA games in the business, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make 10 live service games." Like, cool. I'll see y'all in 10 years. Maybe when this fails, I'll be back. I mean, I'm just so put off by that. It's not even funny. Like, cool. And then everyone they show, I'm just like, cool, cool. Okay, where are we going? Why don't you guys give me a buzz when you guys make another single player game? Give me a call. Let me know. Let me know what's happening. Otherwise, I'm just not interested in your company right now at all. And this is
Man,
from a
we
first
we're
party.
sounding we're sounding like grumpy old men.
Look, this is from a first party perspective. Like, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looks great. They're making some other really cool stuff third party wise, but you're Sony, man. You made The Last of Us. You made Uncharted. Like you made some amazing games.
Mhm.
God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, you've made some of my favorite games in the past 10 years. And now this. Thanks. So, yeah, I had to throw a jab at them because I'm just very disappointed with them right now. Let's move on to another wonderful genre, mobile games.
Gee, don't sound so excited.
I mean, if if I gave this much about live service, like, well, I'd be like, all right, well, I play Destiny. I care
Mm-hmm.
even less about mobile games somehow, Wes. Like, even less.
Mobile gaming is on the rise, believe it or not. It's crazy.
Oh, it is.
Everybody plays games on their phone. Some kind of game. Everybody.
At some point, I've played games on my phone.
Okay.
At some point, I don't know that I played a single game on my phone in the past 3 to 5 years.
Really?
I have no interest.
Okay. I mean,
If I'm on my phone for entertainment, I'm probably
Mhm.
watching YouTube.
Okay. I mean, everybody's playing like we'll mention like Pokemon Go. Uh, you got Monopoly Go. Everybody's playing. Um, I think there's like a Monster Hunter version of Pokemon Go that people are playing, and then there's just like other Marvel Snap. I mean, there's a bunch of different genres that everybody's playing that are customized for mobile.
Are you playing these games?
I'm playing Pokemon, barely, barely.
I played Mario. That was the last game that I played on my phone. Was Mario?
Mario Run.
Yeah, when did that come out?
That was fun.
Like
A couple years,
2018,
couple years ago.
2019.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's funny because uh, I'm a big Samsung user, and during their presentations when they launched like their high end phones like the ultras, they show gaming, and the phones are built for gaming, and it's like they're really pushing games
I
for
mean,
your phone.
worldwide, it's super popular worldwide. It's probably super popular in the U.S. I just don't care at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I Other than like maybe one or two, I really am not a big gamer on my phone. Pokemon Snap is not Pokemon Snap. Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap is hugely popular, and I hear
Mhm.
it's really good. I just, I don't know, man. I'm just, eh.
I just have no interest. I have no idea. If I'm gonna play something portably, I'll grab my analog pocket. I'll play some GBA games. I'll grab my Switch. I don't even like playing that thing portably. I usually play that docked like 90% of the time. So
Do you? See, I undock mine from my TV. When I play my Switch, it's usually just in the portable mode.
The only time I really enjoyed that a lot is for some reason I like playing Animal Crossing portably, so I played the hell out of Animal Crossing in portable mode. But almost everything else is docked.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the whole mobile gaming thing. It's gaming on the go. Game anywhere. It's here, man, and it's not going anywhere. And
It's
then
not.
you got a lot of the indie companies making it. Uh, Making them just for your phone. They're
Look,
optimizing their games.
a big reason Xbox bought Activision Blizzard King was for the King part of that, and King is their mobile section.
Mhm.
Microsoft has said like just straight up like we need to get into the mobile market. There's so much money here, like it has to happen. And Sony's made multiple pushes in the mobile market. Nintendo actually went hard for a little bit, and they were like, "We're done." They're just like, "That's enough. We made some money." And that was probably just to appease stockholders because I think that when they announced that, it was still the tail end of the Wii U, and they were like,
Mhm.
getting decimated. They were like, all right, we'll put some mobile games out. Calm down."
Yeah, I saw the writing on the wall a couple years ago, several years ago actually. Um, there was a LG when LG was actually still making cell phones. They had a LG G2 and it had an Nvidia graphics chip and it was designed for gaming and that was their big push. And they showed a Halo clone running and it looked great. It played great. So at that point it was like okay. And then from then on that's all I kept seeing is the next generation of cell phones, it was like it's all about gaming, first person shooter, racers, role playing games, what have you. It's been coming. It's been coming, but it's here now, and it's here to stay.
Cool. Let me put this last part in here. We're going to talk about PC games for a second. And PC games, let me ask you this before I give my own 2 cents, Wes. Let me
Mhm.
just ask you: do you feel PC games are in a good place right now?
With the rise of Steam, I would say yes. I'm not a PC gamer. Um, Never have been. I'm more strictly a console person, but I remember back in the day, the PC games took up half our store.
Mm-hmm.
But again, everybody's gotten away from PC. And then you had the rise of Steam and the rise of Steam Decks. Everybody keeps telling me I need to get one, but I would say the PC market is doing okay only because you have it's a platform for a lot of the indie developers to throw their stuff out on Steam. And again, good, bad, otherwise, it's there, and people are downloading them and people are playing them. That's my 2 cents on PC games. So
I think that they're probably more popular than they've ever been. But the companies that are making games for them, PC used to always be the dominant version. Like you want the best version, you get the PC version. And all the games recently, like in the past year or two,
mhm.
just trash, just like so messed up right off the bat. Like it's not even funny. It's like if I was a PC gamer, I would never buy the PC games day one. Not a chance in hell, because all of them been coming out like just decimated in the beginning, and I don't know why, But it seems like all the big releases on PC are just broken or semi-broken at launch. So even though it's popular, I get like the worldwide appeal. It kind of goes back to the mobile thing, right? It does. There's really no borders
Mhm.
or boundaries. You get a PC, you can play PC games. You get a mobile phone, you can play a mobile phone game.
Right.
Where consoles have to be like approved in the nation. Like China didn't have any consoles for years, and now they do, right? So you don't have the same hurdles as you do, with the consoles. With that being said, I don't care about PC games either. So I mean, it's I think if I started a Steam library years ago, like here's the truth, I'd probably be really into I'd probably abandon everything else. Probably would have.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't seem like there's going to be an end to PC gaming ever. where consoles are going to be so morphed into something else, you're going to ask yourself one day, why don't I just have a PC? Like eventually, I feel like that's what it's going to come to.
Yeah, yeah. Like back in the day, PC gaming was really on an all time high. But the problem is everybody didn't have the same configuration of PC, so it was hard to run it properly unless you upgraded your PC every 6 months,
Yeah,
and that kind of turned me off to the
it turned a
PC
lot of
gaming.
people off. PC gaming was in a shit state at one point. Like they were in like a real bad position at one point. Like everybody's like PC gaming's dead, and then like a year later, Steam came out and just
Hmm.
turned the tables.
They did, and definitely for the better. Hey, I can't be mad at them. I mean, they're doing their thing. It's sustaining the PC gaming market. So
Yeah, happy for you guys if you're out there playing PC games, I guess, but just not my cup of tea, man.
not mine either.
I'll buy these consoles until they're gone, and then maybe one day you'll
Exactly.
get me.